The Colonial Women's Lacrosse regular season concludes with a frantic race for the final two Colonial tournament spots. At home, the Blue Hens control their destiny with a win-and-in scenario against Towson, who has clinched the number 2 seed in the upcoming conference tournament, which begins on Thursday. We wish everybody a good afternoon from Delaware Stadium here on Hens All Access. Adam Dobrovolsky here for this matchup between the Blue Hens, who are an even 7-7 on the season, 3-3 in Colonial play. Towson is 10-5 overall, 5-1 in conference play. And it's been a fantastic season. Let's put it no other way. In this Colonial Athletic Association and women's lacrosse, there have been tough battles throughout the year, and these two teams no stranger to it. In fact, for Delaware, after a rough opening game against a top 10 ranked Stony Brook team, their last 5 conference games have been decided by a combined 8 goals. And Delaware put themselves in a position here to be winning in after a winner with 5 seconds left last week at Elon. The winner from the freshman Mackenzie Didio, who is not in the starting lineup but will be a key reserve today for the Hens. Meanwhile, for Towson, they have locked themselves into the number 2 spot. They gave Stony Brook a good ride in their last meeting, but quarter 1 was just too much against the Seawolves. It ended up being a 14-11 loss for the Tigers. So you see they are right now in that 5-1 position. Drexel, as you see, 4-2. Now, they came from behind to defeat Delaware in that game that saw a 3.5-hour weather delay. Drexel plays Monmouth, and that's what makes this so interesting to try to get into the top 4. If Drexel beats Monmouth, Delaware loses here. William and Mary might still have a chance to get in. All of that may come down to goal differential, which we will talk about if it comes to that. For Delaware, the focus today, get the win, and you're in. The Hens are in the primary whites, Towson in the primary blacks today for what will be the 55th all-time meeting. We will peek at the series history when we get an opportunity. But first, let's start at the opening draw, as it starts with Daniel Livernice helping to get the win against Lindsay Marshall for Towson. And the opening draw goes the way of the Hens. How will Delaware start out of the gate with really all the juice on their side in terms of urgency? They get a quick catch and shoot, but that's denied. And Joe Torres, the Navy transfer, has the opening save in this one. Torres was the starter for the Midshipmen, one of the top teams in the Patriot League, a current top 25 program. And Torres this year has been great. Back the other way, it's an opening tally for Towson on their first shot. And Lindsay Marshall, the junior for Columbia, Maryland, makes it 1-0. It will get you the starters. But first, let's look at the replay here. Just winning the spot and a nice pump-in finish. The patience shown by Marshall after winning the spot at the doorstep. For Marshall, it's goal number 41 of the season. Marshall very happy to be back after missing last year with injury and had a great freshman season. She has picked up right back at that this year. While Colonial first-teamer as a freshman may very well be on her way to that this year, and she's been just dynamite as of late over the last 8 games. Towson with the next draw control, and Marshall will have to get around a few as the Tigers are led by Sonia LaMonica and assistant Mike LaMonica and assistant Kerrigan Miller. And Lindsay Clark, Gabby Garrett. Primary attacks, midfielders include Milana Zazakovic, O'Shea Levy, Samantha Entreri, Blair Paris, and Lindsay Marshall. The defenders, Peyton Abbott, Shannon Sullivan, Blair Goodrich, and Olivia Malamphy with Joe Torres in goal, as we could see our first 8-meter opportunity of the afternoon. It'll occur from the tight angle far hash. And it'll be a shot attempt that is saved. That was Zazakovic on the effort. Milana Zazakovic, team leader in points. Towson picks it back up. Still has an opportunity here. We'll get you the Delaware starters and their next possession. Well, let's continue here with Towson trying to make it 2 goals in 2 possessions, occupying some time here as they had a fresh 80 after the save and pickup. Paris on the drive, and a nice save by Mercy McCarthy, the starting keeper today. Under head coach Amy Altig, joined by assistants Steph Lazo, Karen Akratius, and Molly McCormick. Lizzie Shue is in attack, passes away, joined by Riley Gillen, Daniel Livernice, and Delaney McDaniel as the Hens have even up the scores. The midfielder Lizzie Yurchak, who's been dynamite as of late herself, to make it 1-1. Yurchak had a 6-goal game, including the final 3 tallies in an overtime comeback against Monmouth. She was named Division I Co-Player of the Week as a result, and she's lifted from that into now 10 goals in her last 5, including a 4-goal effort against Drexel. Now 25 on the season for Yurchak, the junior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Joining Yurchak in the midfield today are Mae Dickens and Kira Grant. The defenders, Emma Hoffman, Madison Horonica, Sam Schelling, and Sophia Murray. Mercy McCarthy in goal. Horonica has set the new program record for calls turnovers in a single season. She's up to 40, including 20 in her last 5, and she ranks 3rd in Division I in calls turnovers per game. She will be key on the face guard, but will have to try to deal with quite a few stellar attackers on this Towson side. The scramble to win this draw will be earned by the Hens. That's Sam Schelling, who's been key on the draw unit this season. 55th draw control of the year. And Delaware working into attack. This is going to be what we imagine to be another potential game down to the wire. Pass intended for Livernice behind the mark, but loose ball picked back up by Delaware. They can keep going here. Pass goes to goal line extended. Delaney McDaniel finds Riley Gillen. Gillen's been inserted into the starting lineup as of late. She finds Lizzie Shue, who scores, and Delaware goes up 2-1. Fantastic way to start the offense for both sides. Ball movement, shot creation, but it's back-to-back tallies for Delaware in a 2-1 lead as Gillen with the assist, wide open with the lane. Lizzie Shue, the senior who's seen the lion's share of her production over the last 2 years. The co-captain now has 23 goals on the season. Fast start to this one. Draw controls are going to be a huge key today. Delaware's been great, plus 65 on the season over 14 games. So you're looking somewhere in the range between 4 and 5 advantage per game. Delaware's had at least 20 draw controls in 6 games this year as Livernice tracks it down and gets the draw control all by her lonesome. Livernice has been hot over the last 4 games after starting on fire over her first 4. Livernice entering the game with 71 draw controls. Gets another one there. She, by the way, had 12 earlier this year against Old Dominion, which tied a single-game record. Point-blank opportunity save on a Livernice shot as Torres comes up big. Towson looking to go the other way. Good speed in transition. Trail check, though, as Centrari had the clear, but then immediately back the other way. Mae Dickens passes ahead. Great sequence of persistence by the Blue Hens defensively, and what will be our first turnover of the game. And Delaware back into attack. Yurchak's been hot. So has Livernies. Shu ever so reliable in attack. Gillen and McDaniel working behind goal line extended, your primary facilitators. Shu is going to earn the obstruction here. Was looking for the dodge, but the defense came over late. It will create an 8-meter opportunity. Delaware this season, not a high team in volume with 64 attempts, but shooting 48.4%. So they've been efficient from the 8-meter, and Shu will put the Hens up by a pair. Uses the speed, finishes low and right to make it 3-1. And Shu with back-to-back goals in the game. The Potomac, Maryland product. Over now her last 2 seasons. Has combined 53 goals. Has her second in the game. Now 9 of 17 from the free position, but 8 of her last 11. Was off to a bit of a cold start against Lafayette and Old Dominion. Combined 1 of 6, but since then has really figured things out in the 8-meter offense. And so 3 in a row for the Hens. Will be either the 2 or 3 seed, or sorry, the 3 or 4 seed with a victory today. But it could be interesting depending on what happens between Drexel and Monmouth, because there is a chance Hens and Hawks winning. It would mean Delaware's the 3 seed, and they would be playing Towson again. A win here gives Delaware the edge on the tiebreaker because Towson locked up as the 2. They are the highest seed among the potential 3 teams that can be 4 and 3. Delaware would be the only team that has a victory against Towson. Of course, Towson's only conference loss so far to Stony Brook. Nice job on the takeaway by Towson. They really needed that one on the Sidney Rosa drive. First Delaware turnover. Only a handful of defenders there for Delaware, but they protect the cage. A Hen tumbles down. No foul called. And the stick earned back for Delaware theirs. I believe that was Sophia Murray who was tumbling down but back to her feet. And so Towson working from the far wing. Zizakovic on the carry. Sophomore from Alberta, Canada, passes away. Could not get the hands free to shoot. Still worked back to Zizakovic. The shot partially influenced and high. Really active defense there by Delaware to make sure that wasn't a clean shot at the doorstep. Lindsey Clark at GLE passes. It'll work up top. Valerie Thompson, the freshman midfielder, drives by, looks for a shot. That's no good. Wide to the right, but backed up by Towson as Thompson seeing some time in attack there. Bad pass. It'll be going the other way. And off the turnover, Shu with the ground ball. Delaware pushing ahead. Mae Dickens, co-captain, helping with the clear. She has speed, can get that quickly in transition, but Towson was marked up. And so 7v7 we go back into attack. Halfway through quarter number 1, Delaware with the last 3 tallies up by 2. Yurchak on the carry. Defended well. This is a team for Towson that can beat you both offensively and defensively. A lot of good players, which you would expect from really any program in Division I lacrosse from the Baltimore area. But Towson, no different in the Sonia LaMonica era. They have been a standard in the Colonial. And we'll talk about their year-to-year consistency at or near the top of the standings as we continue today. But for now, it's Delaney McDaniel. Tight defense here from Blair Goodrich, the team leader in caused turnovers. Delaware will eventually work it to Shue. 30 on the shot clock. Shue gets by her defender looking for a hat trick, and Shue will have it. That rippled the net, then fell out. It's 4-1 Delaware. And how about the hot start from Lizzie Shue? Her speed makes her a contender early in games to put the pressure on, and she's already to a hat trick. Slide doesn't get there in time to prevent the lane on the shot for Lizzie Shue, and so make it 3 for the senior. Timeout is called by Towson as Sonia LaMonica will want to talk things over. It's 4 in a row by Delaware. 6:36 left to go, quarter number 1, 4-1 Hens lead. And what is the 55th all-time meeting? You see the Delaware lead is 30-24, 19-9 at home. It's been interesting. Delaware won 13 of the first 14 meetings from 1978 to 1984. Towson, as of late, 14 of their last 15. The last win was 2015, 6-5. A different time and age with the rule book back in 2015. Obviously, now with the shot clock, the 6-5 score might be something we have in the first half. But interesting how things have gone, especially as of late in this era for Sonia LaMonica. Towson currently at 5-1. That was their record last year, which obviously now this year has Stony Brook added in, so there's a 7th conference game. But last year, 2016, 2018, 2019, Towson was all 5-1 that year. They were 6-1 in 2011 and 2013, 4-1 in 2014, and 1 in year. The only exceptions in the LaMonica era were a 3-3 year in 2015 and an 0-4 year in 2021, which saw Towson make the NCAA tournament as an at-large. That was a year post-COVID where there was still not a full schedule, kind of condensed year for most of the Division I women's lacrosse programs. Towson didn't win a conference game, still made the NCAA tournament due to a stellar RPI. They had a really tough schedule that year. But the standard has been high this year. Towson, their 5 losses, 4 of them against ranked teams, 4 of them within 3 goals, including Stony Brook, an overtime loss to a Johns Hopkins team that's ranked 16th, a 1-goal loss to a Penn State team that is ranked 18th. The only exception, their Baltimore rival Loyola, which was an 11-goal loss, but the Greyhounds for Loyola, they have been really good as of late. They were entering the weekend in their game yesterday with a 9-game win streak, all by double figures. And that's in a Patriot League that has 3 ranked teams. Loyola did end up beating Navy yesterday 15-7, quote-unquote close relative to other games and an all-ranked matchup. So that's how good you have to be to really blow away this Towson team. Delaware, they were off to a great start. They've been able to handle matters at the draw so far. 4 in a row. Lizzie Shue with 3 of them, as Kira Grant needs to peel it back out. Delaware 5-1 advantage at the draw. That's a big story early, helping to get that possession advantage. And we could see an 8-meter opportunity coming up for Lizzie Yurchak. Yurchak, such a versatile player. Offense, defense at the draw. And is stellar from the free position spot, but it's a Joe Torres save. 11 of 15 for Yurchak, entering the game ranking 5th in Division I in free position shooting percentage. Trail check by Delaney McDaniel puts the ball on the ground. Liver Nice was helping out as well, but the ground ball pickup by O'Shea Levy, the freshman from Australia, helps to clear things away for Towson. And they get a big stop thanks to the save by Joe Torres. 4-1 the lead. Torres with 3 saves, Mercy McCarthy with 1. About 10 minutes complete here in a overcast Saturday afternoon from the first state. Could see more rain in the area over the weekend, but for now we are dry. It's just overcast. Blair Paris continues the carry. We'll pass to X. Paris was on the Tewaratana watch list last year as a junior. Similar production this year as a senior. Had a 19-game point streak snapped against Stony Brook last time out. Zazakovic. For now, she's guarded by Hronika. We'll keep an eye on that matchup. Dodge and pass to the doorstep. Paris with the finish. Great tandem work between Lindsay Marshall and Blair Paris to put Towson on the board. It's 4-2, but look at this offense. If you're Delaware conceding this one, it's going to have to require that type of effort from the offense, and that's how much you want to make them work for their goals. So Marshall with a goal and assist now. Paris on the board with goal number 37, 155 in her career, enters the day's action ranked 6th in program history for career goals, also 3rd in career draw controls, having 214, including 49 this year. Goal and assist. Marshall now will be at the draw circle again with Danielle Livernice. And Delaware trying to make it 6 out of 7 here. That's great hustle and work for the draw control. And so it's 6 out of 7, but a turnover here by Delaware. Just the 2nd so far in this opening quarter. And the clear is good. Ball on the ground, nearly taken away by Delaware on the first effort. Will be on the second as Hronika. Such a lethal option on defense. Helps to send it the other way for the Hens. Gillen at goal line extended. One of 2 siblings on the Delaware lacrosse rosters, as Riley's brother, Pat, plays on the men's team, which is on a run as of late and entering this week undefeated in conference play. From the near wing, Morgan Gore, the freshman, with the carry. Passes up top. Ball briefly lost, but won back by Grant, who passes away. Dodge, drive, and feed. Pass over the cage to Grant, and a foul call. This could be an opportunity for a free position. This probably going to be an angle where it needs to be a pass for Grant. And she will wisely pass away. Delaware still runs a play. And I think we're going the other way. Foul off ball, I believe, against Delaware. And so a stop there for Towson. Towson clears it away. And they have an opportunity late here in the first quarter to get it back within 1. Lizzie Shoes, 3 goals, leads the way for this Hens advantage 4-2. Win and in for Delaware into the Colonial Athletic Association tournament, which will be playing in Towson at Johnny Unitas Stadium beginning on Thursday with the semifinal round. A Tiger falls, ball on the ground. Lindsay Clark just lost her footing there. The pass, though, by Mercy McCarthy off the mark. Under duress, looking for Sam Schelling. It's a failed clear by Delaware. And 3 possessions in a row with a turnover. Second chance for Towson with about a 7-second differential between game clock and shot clock in the opening 15. Zazakovic drives, attracts two. Marshall influencing both scoring plays. Gets the blow by the drive. The shot, though, high. On the restart, Gabby Garrett looks for Marshall. Pass not complete. Ground ball pickup from Delaware. Underhand pass from Emma Hoffman on the ground, but picked up. Sophia Murray was under some duress there. Still plenty of time for Delaware. Under a minute to go. Past midfield. Delaware still wants to get it beyond that restraining line to set up 7v7, and now they will. So it'll work from the far wing with 30 on the quarter clock. Up top for Gore. Gore splits two on the drive, but off the pipe. What an effort by Gore, but does not get rewarded by iron. And back the other way we go. Towson trying to push it in transition. 5v4. Odd man situation leads to a free position opportunity. Oh, the iron unkind. It could have been 5-2. It might go the other way, 4-3 with Lindsay Clark having a free position opportunity. Delaware's opponents 38.8% this season in free position shooting. So the 8-meter defense has been strong. And the shot by Clark is high, backed up by Delaware, and that'll do it for the first quarter of action. Delaware with a 4-goal run. That included 3 by Lizzie Shue, and through 15 the score. Blue Hens 4, Tigers 2. Stay tuned for more as you're watching Hens All Access on Flow Sports Live. Exciting first quarter of action. Sees Delaware leading 4-2. Lizzie Shue a hat trick for the Blue Hens. Lindsay Marshall, fresh off a 5-goal, 1-assist effort against Stony Brook. Had a goal and assist in the first half. In fact, Marshall, 30 goals in her last 8. 7 of those games hat tricks. 6 of those games with at least 4 goals. Has been really the breadwinner of sorts offensively. Continuing the same for Towson in that first quarter. And we are going to be heading on to quarter number 2. Delaware's biggest advantage was at the draw circle, 6 of 7 in the opening quarter. See if that continues to be a big dynamic. Again, Delaware very strong with the draw unit. Livernice at the circle. Yurchak. And along the way, Sam Schelling have been big helpers between the restraining lines. Towson, though, will start things off with a draw control. Good work by Hronika to help put the ball on the ground. It's going to go the other way. Madison Hronika, not just the single season, but single game program record setter, had 6 ground balls, 7 calls, turnovers in a single game against Drexel. That is unbelievable. Able to help out on that sequence with the calls turnover. Delaware will look to get another run started on offense. Shue key on the first one. Passes away. Up top it goes. Megan Bozzi then passed. In traffic here. Livernice the intended target, but that's going the other way. Early on, Delaware was sure-handed with the ball. Trail check by Yurchak puts the ball on the ground, but a foul called on a loose ball against Delaware. And so a break there for Towson as Shannon Sullivan drew the foul. Yeah, Delaware started off with just 1 turnover over their first 8 possessions, but are now up to 4 in the game. Actually, turnovers have been kind of up and down for Delaware this year. Nice dodge, but the shot off the pipe by Marshall. Rebound will go back to Towson. It was Gore denied late first quarter by the Iron. This time it's Lindsey Marshall, but both times Towson picking up the ground ball. Carry beyond goal line extended. Clark passes up top. Clark's second year with Towson after her freshman season with Oregon. Dodge and pass by Marshall. Backed up by Garrett as the pass was a bit wide. Shot clock down to 20 for Towson. Clark from the near wing. Leaning in, looking for help. Up top it goes again. Cut by Paris. The shot saved by McCarthy as the Delaware defense was locked in there. And McCarthy sees the ball in for a save. Mercy McCarthy has started every game in goal. However, the decision last time out went to Sophia Fui, who was able to make 6 saves in relief on that late winner by Delaware over Elon. 12-11 was that game. Drive and a little bit of contact there, but no foul. On the restart, Delaware will keep it. Bozzi dodging, passing. Shoe goes down. Bozzi alertly picks it up. The Coastal Carolina transfer in their graduate season. The Towson defense stretches out. 30 on the shot clock. Gillen past goal line extended. Tosses it up top. Bozzi, the Linwood, New Jersey product. Driving, firing. Shot saved around the belt by Joe Torres. It's a race to the sideline that's won by Towson. And another stop by this Tigers defense. As Delaware now empty for an 8th consecutive offensive possession. It's a strong Tigers defense this year, led by the likes of Blair Goodrich. 23 caused turnovers to lead the team, but Shannon Sullivan, Peyton Abbott have been key, along with Olivia Malamphy, who has 21 caused turnovers. Meanwhile, Joe Torres 4 saves. The central part of that defense for Towson. Paris. Guarded well. It's Horonica face guarding Paris, who now steps up after the pass. And eventually it works up top to Marshall. Marshall rolling, attracts 2. Looping pass up top. Look at this Delaware defense, and as soon as I say that, they're going to call a foul on the obstruction. Saying the coverage was late on the rotation by Emma Hoffman. And so an opportunity for Valerie Thompson on the free position. She may go flat foot and fire here upon the whistle. She will fire and score. High velocity on the effort by the freshman from Sykesville, Maryland. It's 4-3. Well, you knew that one was coming, and it ultimately comes down to velocity and accuracy on the shot. And Valerie Thompson does a great job there. For Thompson, that marks her 5th goal of the season. It's tough for this Towson roster to find spots for freshmen because they have so many good upperclassmen and experienced players, but Thompson among the most productive freshmen, along with O'Shea Levy. Danielle Levernice gets the draw control all by herself, in Delaware will try to get the next tally. They led by as many as 3, but now down to 1. And again, all the pressure's on Delaware here. Towson knows they're the 2 seed. And they do have the advantage of hosting in the Colonial Tournament. Although Stony Brook, the conference newcomer, they will be the favorite. 10th ranked in the nation. Losses only to, oh, by the way, the top 2 ranked teams, Northwestern and Syracuse, and then Rutgers. The lone upset that Stony Brook's experienced this season. Towson with an opportunity to tie. And they're going to take their time here on offense. Zizakovic. Good rotation by Delaware. Able to switch rather seamlessly. That was after Clark was looking to draw the screen. She drives and fires. Saved by McCarthy. Rebound pickup by Delaware. Sam Schelling turns on the Jets. Gets it past midfield. Marshall able to cut her off. And Schelling on the roll draws the foul. That was good defense by Marshall. But Schelling was able to do just enough to draw the foul. Do her part. And the Delaware clear is now good. Mercy McCarthy had her 3rd save. And then Sam Schelling with the ground ball pickup. Back to offense it goes for Delaware. A drive here, fire, but a whistle as Gore again denied by the pipe. Morgan Gore, the freshman from Crofton, Maryland, will have a free position coming up. Gore this season, 14 goals. 4 of 8 from the free position, but will pass away. Pass for Livernice is off the mark. Gillen will track it down in open space. Here's where the spacing of the attack is so important if a pass is off the mark. Sydney Rosa from up top. Passes away. Rosa, one of the team captains. Pass in traffic is no good. And that's picked up by Towson. Mackenzie Didio was the intended target of that pass, but not complete. So the other way it goes. Towson successful on the clear. Looking for Zizakovic. Ball popped away. Hronika picks up the ground ball. Gabby Garrett there to defend. And the Hens will look to clear the ball here. Dickens had to get in tight to grab that ball. Passes ahead. Another feet around midfield. Livernice secures the ball, has the clear. It'll go 7v7 in attack. Past the midway point of quarter number 2, the only tally was a free position, flat footer from Valerie Thompson, which was fired home from the left side. Bozzi passes away. Gillen guarded tight, draws a foul. Whistle will blow it dead, although Gillen had the blow by against Peyton Abbott, who was whistled for the foul. And so instead we start from the spot behind goal. Gillen passes up top. Rosa dodging, driving, has the lane, but is denied by Torres. That was well drawn up on offense. But Joe Torres coming up big. Back the other way we go. Paris looking to tie, and she will. Make it a 4-4 game on a big sequence from one way to the other. Could have been a 5-3 Delaware lead. Torres stuffing Rosa. And back the other way. Blair Paris on the board for her second. Comes down to, for now, Delaware just trying to find momentum back on offense after having a real good run at it in the first quarter, in which they had 4 goals in a 6-possession span. But since then, they've gone cold. And now to a tie game. 38 on the season for Paris. And Lizzie Yurchak trying to grab the draw control. A little bit of pressure from behind by Towson. It's out of bounds, but going the Hens' way. And so Delaware continues to be strong with the draw controls. It's 8 now out of 10 for the Blue Hens. It's not a Delaware team that has any one particular option on offense that really gets the primary focus. As a team effort, as the pass to Didio is saved by Torres. But in a situation like this, who do you draw up to just try to get that plus play to get back on the scoreboard? Bazzi attracts 2. McDaniel stumbles but still gets the catch, has the feed. Livernice with the finish. And it's 5-4. Delaney McDaniel, the top facilitator in this Delaware attack, fresh off a 4-assist game against Elon, finds Danielle Livernice, 27th of the season for the junior from Flemington, New Jersey. Start off the season with a 4-game hat trick streak. Saw the offense dry up a bit, and then she's back at it over the last 4 with 11 in that span, including 3 hat tricks, has her first today. And so back to a Delaware lead. McDaniel, a team-high 31 assists, set the freshman assist record last year with 28. And it'll be a key draw control going Towson's way. You concede, you don't want to allow the draw control to boot, as Milana Zazakovic, has been strong in her own right between the restraining lines for the draw unit, with 65 entering the game. Got one there. Now an attack. Garrett trying to hang up the Hens here. Gabby Garrett, the senior. Team captain along with Blair Paris. Catch and fire, and another save by the Hens. And so this Delaware defense stopping in tight quarters. That opportunity for Towson. Outlet on the far sideline. Carry past midfield. Towson rides, somewhat effective, but not enough to get the turnover. And Delaware clearing. 5 for the Delaware lead, late first half. Chance to seize the momentum again. Mercy McCarthy now with 4 first-half saves. Joe Torres has 5 as Bazzi carries and passes. Around the arc it goes. McDaniel from X, surveying, guarded well, finds Gillen, far wing. Up top it goes with 30 on the shot clock. Still plenty of time to work as Lizzie Yurchak draws some contact. Not enough for a card here. Quick restart by Yurchak. Does not have hands free to fire. Torres comes out, intercepts the pass. And I think it's going to go the other way regardless with a crease violation. But Joe Torres alertly takes that ball on the ground, intercepting the passing lane. Thompson has a clear for Towson. Pass, though, high, looking for Gabby Garrett. An unforced mistake on the outlet pass. Going back to Henn's way. Approaching the final 2 minutes of the first half. Rosa clears for Delaware. Towson had things defended well, so no push of pace. And Delaware taking its time here. Rosa tries to get by Paris, who can get it done both on offense and defense, among the best of them. Pass no good, but up top, Bazzi picks up the ground ball. Rosa has it back, draws some contact, rolls, fires, and hops it in. Great individual effort by Sydney Rosa. It is 6-4. The Lutherville, Maryland product. That was some heavy contact there. Might have been enough to get an 8-meter, but Rosa continues and has the tally. Goal for Sydney Rosa. Spent her first 2 years at Penn State, 13 games with the Nittany Lions. And over the last 2 at Delaware has been a key factor on offense. 17 last year as a junior in terms of goals scored. This year, not the same exact scoring pace, but still solid production all said, with what is now goal number 5 on the season. It's going to go Towson's way on this draw. And so shot clock off, 6-4 the score. Delaware with the lead. They've led by as many as 3. Towson's lone lead was 1-0, although they did tie it up 4 apiece. And if you're the Tigers, big possession here. Again, no pressure on them in terms of this affecting their tournament fate in terms of where they go. They will host as the 2 seed regardless, but they could be seeing Delaware again. And they want to make sure they have a good effort as Paris with the blow-by and finish. It's a hat trick for Blair Paris. And with 40 seconds left to go, it's 6-5. And we see the rare blow-by of Menace and Veronica. But that's the top matchup you're going to see today. 13 versus 15. 13 in black, 15 in white. And that is the 32nd career hat trick for Blair Paris. Obviously highly touted coming from McDonough. Arguably the best lacrosse program at the high school level. Right back at it after a pointless afternoon against Stony Brook to snap a 19-game point scoring streak. Draw control by Delaware. Foul called against Towson. Livernice aggressive pass well behind the mark of Riley Gillen. Delaware tries to keep it in but won't. And there's going to be called a push maybe in the back here. The clocks kept going there. And I imagine here when the officials are discussing things, they probably want some time back on the clock. And it will go in favor of Delaware. Push in the back was the call. And so no turnover there. Delaware was trying to keep it in. Delaney McDaniel was pushed in the back. They say inbounds on a loose ball. 25 seconds on the clock. First pass saw eye off the ball, but quickly scooped back up by Megan Johnson. Shu has 3 first-half tallies. Passes McDaniel. McDaniel's pass, an aggressive one, but a foul was called. 6.4 seconds left to go. Livernice draws the foul. And this is a bit of a tight angle for the free position, but not much time on the clock, so she may still try to fire here. This is huge. Livernice gets the tally in. It's 7-5 with 4 seconds left. A high hop to beat Joe Torres for Danielle Livernice, who has her second of the game, 28th of the season. Second tally from the 8-meter today by the Hens. And yeah, this is not one that you're going to have the best velocity. You have to shoot from a bit of distance, but a good high hop on what was all said solid 8-meter defense. Olivia Malamphy was there. But Danielle Livernice with the finish. And that goal looms large. Frustration for Towson. They thought they might have been able to have the possession. It was an overturned call, push in the back with 25 seconds left. Livernice was fouled, did not receive the pass. As a result, got the 8-meter and got the tally. And that obviously may be enough to carry us into halftime with 4 seconds on the clock. Livernice gets a draw control. Ball on the ground won't matter. And we go into the half with Delaware needing to win to get into the Colonial Tournament. And so far, 30 minutes in, they are in great position, leading 7-5. We will step off to our halftime here from Delaware Stadium. You're watching Hens All Access on Flow Sports Live. Stay tuned. Halfway home from Delaware Stadium between Towson and the Blue Hens, who need to win to absolutely lock up a Colonial Tournament berth. A loss would mean they need help. But so far in the first half, things are looking good. A 7-5 lead, as you see, with the halftime stats, seeing Delaware the more efficient team shooting the ball on goal, 14-7. But the shot advantage pretty tight. Turnovers are even. Draw controls in favor of Delaware. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to maximizing possessions and seeing good individual efforts, as Lizzie Shu had a first quarter hat trick to help lead the way for Delaware, and then Danielle Livernice picking things up as well. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 draw controls in the first half. Defensively, Madison Hronika, 2 ground balls, 2 calls, turnovers, business per usual in what's been a stellar season for Towson. Blair Paris, already a hat trick, which is her 32nd career hat trick. And also the great play as of late by Lindsay Marshall continues with a goal and assist in half number 1. We're getting ready for the second half of action. Adam Dobrovolsky here from Newark, Delaware. Thanking you so much for tuning in. And getting ready for what will be perhaps 30 minutes to determine if Delaware can finish the job and lock themselves up a spot in the Colonial Tournament where they would be either the 3 or the 4 seed, depending on what happens between Drexel and Monmouth as we get underway in half number 2 with Towson having the opening draw. That Drexel game with Monmouth is set to get underway at the top of this hour And so an extra half for those teams in terms of at least knowing somewhat what was going on before getting underway. First Towson possession's a turnover. Off the foul, Delaware will look to clear. Pressure on from the Tiger ride. Lizzie Yurchak able to work it past the restraining line. And so Delaware will work it 7v7 in attack. Bazzi cuts, passes, Shu up top, may have a lane. Defense converges. Shu wisely peels back out. McDaniel cutting, looking for a feed. That was in tight quarters for Livernice, but backed up by the Hens. Yurchak carries. Gets the space on the blow by, though denied by Torres as Yurchak was steaming ahead. Bazzi backs it up. Quick restart from the near sideline. Off the quick stoppage, Delaware restarts. I think they're just making sure that the shot clock was in the proper spot. Tight angle feed to Livernice, but again, Torres with the save. It was a good feed by Megan Bazzi, but Livernice's finish was denied as Joe Torres getting it done again. The Prince Frederick, Maryland product. Spent her first 2 seasons with Navy. Sub-11 goals on average, save percentage around 44 entering the game, and has been solid in cage again. Had 5 first-half saves for the Tigers. And it's up top, Zazakovic. Rare to see that distance on the fire, but it works out. It's 7-6. Milana Zazakovic, the Alberta, Canada product, able to get the finish. All-Colonial second-teamer last year as a freshman. This year, she's even picked it up better. 11 multi-goal efforts, including 8 hat tricks. Has her first today. After being scoreless on 2 shots in the first half. 38 goals on the season. Was only freshman last year for Towson to start all 17 games. Truly a special player. And so a 1-goal game now. Showing overruns it a tad bit. Draw control will go the way of Blair Paris. Oh, wow. They blow the whistle, and that was, I think, a quick restart. Delaware got away with one there. Paris didn't even get started again. But Schelling able to cause a turnover. Delaware clears it. Active defense for the Hens today. In terms of the calls turnover department. Meanwhile, on offense, Riley Gillen with her first. And it's 8-6. Gillen making her 5th consecutive start. Graduate student Laurel McHale is dealing with an injury, and then Gillen moved into the starting lineup, and she has picked up the offense as of late. Her 11th of the season, but 9 and now the last 6. As McHale going down against Monmouth, Gillen picked up the slack from there. And so Gillen, who can also be a facilitator, having 1 first half assist. 14th of the season, has her first goal of the game. The entire game has been within 3 points, and again, this is the theme for these two teams. The last 5 conference games have been decided by a combined 8 goals for Delaware. Overtime winner against Monmouth, overtime loss against William and Mary. 3-goal win against Hofstra, 13-10. A Drexel fourth quarter comeback and victory against Delaware, 13-11 before the final second winner last week at Elon, 12-11. 3 fourth quarter comebacks, a fourth game with an overtime winner, the only exception, Hofstra. Meanwhile, Towson, they had one exception on a senior day victory against Monmouth. 21-14 was the most goals scored by Towson since 2019. The other 5 games have been decided either by 3 or 4 goals. So that's been a common theme for these two teams, games that are tight within 3 goals. Paris will have an 8-meter. Already 3 tallies today, looking for a 4th. She'll drive and draw a foul. That was a really intense play there with Paris driving. They're not going to card anybody. Paris now, flat foot, may try to fire from up top. You can look anywhere you want. The shot, though, not a lot behind it on the hop, goes wide, and it's backed up by Delaware. So, we'll say of 1 on the free position shooting, but 2 efforts on the free position go for naught for Towson. Rosa has the speed to get past the restraining line, fends off a swipe, continues to carry, gets out of traffic. Shoe passes away. Near side goal line extended. McDaniel passes to Gillen on the far side, who will toss it up top. 8-6 the Delaware lead, almost 5 minutes complete, third quarter. Postseason berth on the line for the Hens as the pass by Bozzi's no good. Falling down to get the pass off and drawing the foul the other way is Blair Goodrich. Goodrich, the junior from Chester, Maryland. It's a lacrosse family, the Goodrich family, where Zach was a 3-time All-America on the men's side. Clear is good for the Tigers. Still a 2-goal game. Every possession's going to count here for sure. Keep an eye on the turnovers. It's 8 for Delaware, 9 for Towson. Ball on the ground here will be a 10th for the Tigers, and then Delaware gives it right back. Failed clear, ball on the ground, and back to Delaware. Rosa will just roll it to McCarthy, who quickly launches ahead. The pace is frantic right now, and it is leading to some turnovers back and forth. The defenses are happy with the offenses, though. Well, that ball was just a little bit too high, but not caught cleanly, going back the other way. And then right back, Veronica with the takeaway. We'll figure it out here. But for now, you just enjoy some unsettled lacrosse. Now, this game can sometimes go back and forth so quickly. Rosa's pass is high. It'll be tracked down by Shu. Good job on the bat going the other way. Shannon Sullivan made the nice play. Sullivan, sophomore from Watauga, New York. Otherwise, it's going right to Livernee's point-blank opportunity. Tried for a shot, no good from Marshall. Good job by McCarthy to cut off the angle. Meanwhile, the pass trying to hang up Delaware gets knocked down. Both McCarthy and Sam Schelling were there. And we're going to have a timeout. I think really for both sides they need it. It's right now just back and forth, frantic, unsettled. Defenses active, offenses trying to catch their breath. 7:40 left to go here in the third quarter. So 8-6 the score. Delaware against Towson. Men's lacrosse, they are in Baltimore. Although at last check they were trailing in the first half, they will host the upcoming men's lacrosse tournament, which will begin on Thursday. Delaware trying for the unbeaten season in men's lacrosse. We'll see how that tournament picture pans out. But you know, on the men's side too, the way it was last year, where every game seemingly went down to the wire. Delaware got hot in the postseason tournament in the Colonial, won in convincing fashion, defeated Robert Morris in the opening round game here at Delaware Stadium, upset Georgetown, the number 2 seed, in the first round to make it into the quarterfinal before a tight loss against Cornell. Delaware winners of their last, I believe, 5 games, but in danger at Towson of suffering their first loss in a while. At last check, that score was, let's see here, 11-6, with Brendan Powers starting off the half with a man-up goal. So Delaware, the 15th ranked team, will try for a comeback there, but it'll be interesting to see what occurs in that one. Again, for Delaware, here on the women's side, it comes down to just focusing on the win here to get in. If there's a loss, then it comes down to scoreboard watching Drexel Monmouth. And also maybe what happens with William and Mary, all depending on how things go there. William and Mary's playing Elon. And that one is in the second half like this one. So we'll keep eyes peeled on that if necessary. But again, our focus here is just on what Delaware's doing. Out of the timeout. Saw a string of 8 consecutive possessions that ended with the turnover. There were shots in that sequence. Yurchak drawing some attention up top from Valerie Thompson. Gore cuts, passes to McDaniel. Defense extended out here with Blair Goodrich. Now line those passing options for McDaniel. Yurchak, meanwhile, up top, gets the blow by, the drive, and the finish. It's 9-6 as Yurchak beats the freshman Valerie Thompson and then the junior keeper Joe Torres. It's all about the speed here. And the way it was drawn up defensively, there was nobody there to slide in time. And so Lizzie Yurchak now has 2 today. And Delaware tying its biggest lead of the game, 9-6. Looking for their first win against Towson since 2015 and only their second in the last 16. And a matchup that they possibly could see on the road on Thursday. And certainly would give them confidence, I would think, if they have the Tigers again. Into open space. And it'll be a draw control as Danielle Livernice was seeing a lot of the action, but Maggie Farragher, the freshman from Evanston, Illinois, was at the draw circle, controls it all by herself. Another Delaware possession here. Chance to get to double figures first and make it their biggest lead of the game. No easy out in this Colonial Athletic Association and women's lacrosse this year. Every game's been a battle. This one no different. Good loose ball pickup for Morgan Gore. Yurchak with the feed, but the finish is a high there by Livernice. Quick restart, but Torres intercepts the pass from Gillen. And before we do that, let's hold the phone. Are they saying a hold against Towson? In a free position? Ooh, this one could be big here. Didn't see if that was upon the reception of pass. Although, looked like Torres would have had that regardless. So it's tough if that's how the foul occurred. Lizzie Shue already with the free position tally. With the 8-meter opportunity here. She'll drive, fire, but a save by Torres. Delaware gets it back, skipped up top, but the pass is off the mark. It goes beyond the restraining line, and it'll head Towson's way. Big sequence there for the Tiger defense to keep it within 3. Gabby Garrett is going to get checked by Danielle Livernice, and that'll be the first card of the afternoon. Towson has a -10 goal differential in woman up goals this season, only scoring 8, allowing 18. They've been very clean in that regard today. And now we'll have the opportunity up a player. Clear is good for Towson, who really want the next goal under 5 third quarter. It's a rare game for Towson, which sees a very tight shot differential. For all the close games they've had, the last 5, there's been a double-digit advantage or disadvantage in shot differential. So either they're just hot shooting in a close game or their opponent's hot shooting in a close game, percentage-wise, with the other team having the big shot advantage. Today, it's close to even, 21-18 in favor of Delaware. Penalties down to a minute for Danielle Livernice. As McCarthy tries to come out and intercept the pass, it's an open goal for Lindsay Marshall to make it 9-7. That's one way to go at it. You're saying, okay, well, you're leaving the goal open, but, you know, you're down a player. You time it, you get the takeaway, it's a huge stop. If not, well, it's only allowing 1 goal, and now we're even. So I honestly don't mind. I actually appreciate that idea. Just doesn't work out in favor of the Hens, as Blair Paris with the assist, Lindsay Marshall with her 2nd goal of the game. Woman up effort for Marshall. Back to 12v12 overall. Going to be a big draw control coming up here, I would think. 2-goal game. Maybe a chance for Towson to get some momentum. And it's going to go Delaware's way. Violation against Towson. And so back we go to the Delaware offense. Hens trying to get it back to a game-high 3-goal lead. Each team with 2 tallies here in the third. Gore with the drive, but Torres the save. That was a huge lane for the freshman Morgan Gore, but clear vision for Torres to make the save. Gillen feeding, Shoe shooting, no good. Still with the Hens. Shoe gets back up. Offense will reset, still plenty of time on the shot clock. Gore backs up her defender. Finds Yurchak. Yurchak using the speed, tight angle shot. That gets deflected out of bounds. Quick restart by Delaware. Foul right in front. And was that contact up by the head? If it is, and it seems that it is, it's a yellow card. And so Mackenzie Didio with an opportunity here to spark something for the Blue Hens. Peyton Abbott is sent off with the yellow card. Didio can try to get it back to a 3-goal lead, but she'll peel back out. Somehow it gets in. Somehow that one gets in. It's 10-7. Was that a... We got to look at this one again. That thing that was intended to be a pass and found its way in. Delaney McDaniel surveying. Oh, that goes... Oh, I see. That goes off of Blair Goodrich's cross and then hits Joe Torres in. Out of the blue for the Blue Hens, it's 10-7. That's going to count as a man-up goal for Delaney McDaniel on a shot behind cage. And you know what? That's... You want to make that the lead, you just put that as the headline, and then you give the context later. But you'll take it any way you can if you're Delaware. 10th goal of the season for McDaniel, who had a 2-goal, 2-assist effort against Drexel 2 games ago. 2-goal, 6-assist effort against Old Dominion. Usually she's facilitating, was trying to do so there, and earns herself a goal. Big one coming up here. Is there going to be a push in the back or a step over by Delaware? They're going to say step over by Kira Grant. Back to a 3-goal Towson lead. It stays within 3. This is well within range for Towson. It starts to get 4 or higher for Delaware. Not that you're ahead for good, but you are pushing Towson to the precipice. So this is huge for Towson to take care of things, and as soon as I say that, they don't. Passes way in too tight on Lindsey Clark, and it goes Delaware's way. Turn back over. The ride gets the job done, although Veronica had a swipe, gets whistled for the foul, put the ball on the ground against Lindsey Marshall. Final 90 seconds of quarter number 3. The drive by Zazakovic. Foul called before the shot. Always tough when you have that drive to continue and the officials say, no, it was dangerous enough, we have to halt the play now. And so Milana Zazakovic will have an opportunity for an 8-meter. One tally today, trying to make her 12th multi-goal effort of the season. She cuts, fires, and scores, doing just that to make it 10-8. And that's a crafty shot. Well, you come from our friends up north. You know the box lacrosse is big up in Canada. Delaware familiar with that on the men's side with all-time goal scorer Ty Kurtz. When he's done not just this year, but throughout his Delaware career. Zazakovic showing in a tight spot the cut and finish there on the one hopper. And so 10-8 the score. Minute 7 left to go. Another tally by Towson may give them some juice for the fourth. Delaware gets a tally here, and they can extend their lead back to 3. Great effort by Sam Schelling there. She was just storming ahead. Didn't matter who was there. Schelling looking to get it to an offensive-minded teammate here, but is under a lot of pressure against this extended defense from Towson. Almost cornered here by Samantha Intreri. Schelling draws a foul upon the pass. Clock will continue to run, but no urgency needed just yet for Delaware. Schelling will get the pass away. 30 on the clock in quarter number 3. Sydney Rosa may have space here, but that's well defended by Towson up top from O'Shea Levy. Pass gets batted down. Torres will pick it up. Olivia Malamphy to deny the pass. Under 10 seconds, Towson hoping for a quick tally here. Loose ball. Marshall picks it up on the second effort. She needs to pass and then fire, but that won't be completed in time. And quarter number 3 comes to an end. The score, Delaware 10, Towson 8. The Hens, if they can hold, 15 minutes away from clinching a spot in the Colonial Tournament. More right after this as you're watching Hens All Access on Flow Sports Live. Heading home to the final 15 of the regular season. Towson is in the Colonial Tournament. They're the 2 seed. Delaware trying to lock up one of the 4 spots into next week's tournament, which begins Thursday in Towson. Drexel and Monmouth have 1 quarter in the books. And in the Philadelphia area, the Dragons lead the Hawks 6-5. A lot of offense in that one, efficiency with 11 combined goals on 18 shots. If that result holds and this result holds, Delaware will have to face Stony Brook and Towson will host Drexel. But obviously a lot left in that one, and this one firmly in the air heading into the fourth quarter with Towson having the opening possession of the quarter. Milana Zazakovic with the draw control. A lot going on for Delaware athletics in the spring seasons. Softball 15-5. Split against Hofstra yesterday. They conclude their series tomorrow. Baseball, they've had some just monster offensive performances this season as a shot no good. In the heat of it, in the middle of a William and Mary series, 10-9 in conference play. In the hunt for something there as Towson able to create the turnover. This Towson ride's really ramped up as a shot no good. It's wide. And I think it's going Delaware's way, right? It is. That's big. Shot no good after the turnover. Towson tried to push it but could not convert. Baseball and softball having good seasons in their own right. Men's lacrosse, again, trying to complete an undefeated Colonial season. They've got it to 2, outscoring Towson 11-4 in Baltimore, down 11-9 heading into the 4th. It's the trouble clearing now for Delaware. That's big. The shot no good from Gabby Garrett as McCarthy with the denial. It was backed up by Delaware, and so yet again, after a failed clear, Towson cannot convert. Big sequence. All said. Delaware gets the clear this time. It's now 15-19 clearing for the Blue Hens, a perfect 17 of 17 for Towson. Delaware a minus 45 in turnover differential entering the game. Turnover disadvantage each of their last 7 entering this one. And is now 16 turnovers for Delaware, 14 for Towson. Pass gets batted down, but Livernice picks it up, fires, and scores. It's back to a 3-goal lead as Danielle Livernice has another hat trick. 11-8 the score. There's a piece there, a fortunate bounce. Paris getting a stick on the Bazzi pass, but Livernice sticks with it and scores. The Hunterdon Central product from Flemington, New Jersey. 4 hat tricks in her last 5 now. One other update on Colonial women's lacrosse action. Elon is at William & Mary. The Tribe lead 10-7. William & Mary is rooting for Towson because if Delaware wins its 4 conference wins, there would be no shot then for William & Mary to get in. Again, Delaware win and in. Monmouth, who has tied Drexel, can win to force a 3-way tie at 4-3 if Delaware wins. But with Delaware defeating Towson, the 2 seed, they would have the best win by opponent standing. And what would be, obviously, if Monmouth defeats Drexel. Drexel defeated Delaware. Delaware defeated Monmouth. A 3-way tie, not just in conference standings, but head-to-head. So it would move Delaware to the 3 seed. And, again, they would be playing Towson. As it stands, though, 11-8. Tigers are still in it. And for Towson, this is a game that doesn't affect their tournament picture. But very much if it's a team that they're going to play again, if they don't win, they still want this to be one that they have a good performance in and can take to the tape whatever they do for the next game to try to pull off the win at home. Drive and fire, no good. SWAT attempt on the rebound by Garrett gets stopped. Lindsey Clark had the free position opportunity. Delaware denies it, up by 3. Good work by Marshall to intercept the pass. The ride for Towson's ramped up late in this game, especially the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, ball on the ground and the pickup. Guess who? Madison Harmonica. I'll give you a harmonica for a gift for getting that one right. She's just fantastic. Every time you can lean on her, she gets the job done. We've had a combined 25 calls turnovers in this game. 14 by Towson, 11 by Delaware. 6 calls turnovers now for Madison Harmonica. That's one shy of her own single game high and program single game high. She also has 3 ground balls. Towson spreading out those 14 calls turnovers between 10 players, no more than 2. So it's a great team effort. Back the other way it goes. Clear will be good for Towson, who really needs the next tally to stay in this one. Under 10 to go, and that's not when you want to be 4 or more behind. That puts you on the precipice. Joe Torres on the other side with the save on the Mackenzie Didio shot. Torres up to 11 saves. Mercy McCarthy has 8. Both keepers are performing well. Shot no good. McCarthy there to deny on the effort by Zazakovic. Towson gets it back. Clark surveys, tosses up top. Katie McCormick for Towson passes away. Paris from the far side rolls. Pass goes behind goal line extended. Back to Clark. Clark surveying, feeding. Fall away shot no good for Valerie Thompson. And a foul called against the Tigers. And so another stop by the Delaware defense. This is a Towson team that has a 40-goal scorer in Lindsay Marshall. A pair of close to 40 goal scorers. Both Milana Zazakovic and Blair Paris are at 39 on the season. And yet, Towson held to just 8 goals so far today. Towson had 11 against that stellar Stony Brook side. 8 so far today, thanks to great play by the Delaware defense. Veronica, Emma Hoffman, Sam Schelling, Sophia Murray, Mae Dickens, and of course Mercy McCarthy, key among them. Drive-by, fall-away shot. That one goes through. They'll allow the continuation on the foul. And for the first time, Delaware now has himself a 4-goal lead. It's 12-8. What an effort by Delaney McDaniel. Falling down to both knees and finishing. And a multi-goal effort for a player who's oftentimes quarterbacking the offense. Timeout, Towson. Down by 4 with 8:08 left to go. We'll keep it here. But the picture starting to emerge for women's lacrosse as our spring season rolls on for Hens All Access. We mentioned softball. They have to finish up their series against Hofstra, but 15-5. This Hens team is in the hunt for their first conference regular season championship since the 70s. And they will be hosting a softball doubleheader against Hampton on Friday to start out that series from the Delaware Softball Diamond. And we'll see if Delaware has himself a 16-5 or 15-6 record with their series at Hofstra wrapping up. But Hannah Garber, Jules Garber, Emily Winburn and crew will be going up against the Pirates on Friday for 2. (12-8) the score in favor of Delaware. They had Lizzie Shue provide a 3-goal first quarter. Danielle Livernice then took on a lot of the big plays second and third, but Delaney McDaniel has both goals, or 2 of the last 3, I should say, down the stretch. One of those from behind the goal that bounced off the stick of a Towson player defending, then off the back of the keeper and in. And then had this tally here before the timeout. And it's the sophomore who has now taken over late in the game, the Severna Park, Maryland product and Archbishop Spalding graduate. Huge draw coming up here. Maggie Farragher has been an asset as of late at the draw circle. Puts in open space. Lizzie Yurchak finds the spot. It's a draw control for Delaware. The Hens start off hot, winning 8 of the first 10. Towson has gotten it to 10, or as close as 10-7, but Delaware started to get the ebb and flow back the other way. And up by 4 with possession. Close to getting the KO blow here. Yurchak guarded well. Alertly pulls back. McDaniel has it, surveys, continues the carry. We'll give it to Gillen, who will look to facilitate. 40 on the shot clock as Yurchak up top attracts extra attention. Feed for the blow-by reverse shot, no good. And it's Torres there to deny Lizzie Shue, making a big save, keeping things alive for Towson. As the Tigers race the other way, clear will be good for Shannon Sullivan and the Towson Tigers. Delaware has been rising to the occasion throughout this one. And it'll give confidence to Amy Altig's team if they can finish this one out strong against Towson, a team they may play in the Colonial Tournament if they secure this victory. Towson trying to find something here. They've not been able to get it to Paris or Marshall nearly enough down the stretch. Lindsay Clark, ball on the ground. Shot clock under 30. In Delaware, they're not going to get too extended here, up by 4, sub-6. They're going to make Towson work for the shot. Double team comes. Feed to Marshall. Marshall now double teamed. Trail check and a foul called. Oh, that looked mighty clean, at least from up top here. But the officials in close must have saw something low. I mean, this is not a favorable free position spot to shoot. But you may get something off ball if you're Lindsay Marshall to find a teammate. Marshall will try to go through 3, at least draw something better, and she will. Now, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place if you're Lindsay Marshall. You get slightly better hash here. The junior has 2 tallies today. Looking for a third. Cuts. Pass, though, gets knocked down from behind. Nearly a caused turnover. And it'll be a shot clock violation, I believe. Shot clock violation. Turnover Towson, and the Delaware defense comes up huge yet again. They have not allowed Towson to score since quarter number 3. And what may be the best defensive performance yet today from Delaware. They've caused 12 turnovers. Mercy McCarthy's made 9 saves. Madison Horonica, 1 caused turnover shy of tying her own program single game record for caused turnovers. Under 5 to go. A goal may very well put it away in this possession for Delaware. Yurchak from up top. Guarded well by Luca DeMaio. Goes back to Yurchak, though. The feed to the doorstep. Pump, fire, save. And a whistle as Mackenzie Didio had a point-blank opportunity. 2 defenders converged, helped out George Torres on the stop. Now, what do you call here? Because if there's someone that goes into the shooting lane, and yeah, there's going to be yellow card called against Mackenzie Didio. late I realized that one. Well, if you have a player going into the shooting space, are they going to call it a dangerous follow-through? Now, understandably so, Delaware not happy with the call, because if that's late, if that comes in where the defender is running into the shooting space, well, you can't call it a dangerous follow-through. The defender has to be established first. And so that's what the discussion was about. In the end, Towson, up a player, they got to take advantage here. They got to score quickly, too. They're close to needing about a goal per minute to make up in differential. They may need a simple score, draw, control run here. Not easy to do against this Delaware team that's been stellar defensively and great on the draw. Clark passes up top. Look, Towson's just not been able to get enough working on ball. Yurchak helped to briefly put the ball on the ground. DeMayo gets it back. And it'll be a free position opportunity coming up for the freshman from San Diego, the San Diego area player of the year, Luca DeMayo. She'll fire. That's saved by McCarthy. Out of bounds, but backed up by Towson. Double-digit saves for the fourth time this season by Mercy McCarthy. Still a 12-8 game, 3.5 minutes to go. Under a minute on the penalty, but Delaware taking that whole minute off the clock down a player is so huge when you're up by 4. Pass for Towson's a bit high, and it's picked up by Sydney Rosa. Hens have a 3v3. We'll see if they push it. Shu draws the foul. This is at the least going to take a lot of time off the clock, as Sydney Rosa had a monster ground ball. And the Blue Hens, they're on the perch here of a Colonial Tournament berth. Lizzie Shu will try to put an exclamation point on it. Shu drives, fires, and scores! 13-8 the score with under 3 left to go. Fourth of the game for Lizzie Shu. And the Blue Hens, well, they can feel it now. They'll have another game to play. It'll be in Towson, Maryland. Opponent to be determined. If they can finish the job in charge with under 3 left. And there you see the replay. A second free position tally for Shu today. Fourth in total. She had 5 goals on 5 shots against Niagara to tie a career high earlier this year. 4-goal effort against Hofstra. 4 today. One of 4 hat tricks on the season. Towson, if they want to get back in this one, they need to draw control here in a quick tally. But it's Lizzie Yurchak, the stud down the stretch in that overtime comeback victory against Monmouth. The final 3 tallies, including the overtime winner, 13-12 in a 6-goal effort that got her co-player of the week in Division I, along with Northwestern's Aaron Kuykendall. How big does that comeback look now, where Delaware can move to 4-3 to close out Colonial play, 8-7 in total on the season? Towson will move to 10-6, 5-2 in conference play. Even if Drexel wins against Monmouth and has a 5th win, Towson the tiebreaker, having defeated Drexel earlier this season. Rosa driving. But Delaware up by 5 here. They might be, as this will go the other way, they're going to call a foul against Delaware, so a turnover. But Delaware might very well have a larger margin of victory against Towson than Stony Brook. And so you got to just give all the hats off here to Delaware's defense down the stretch. Towson still without a tally in quarter number 4. This is their 9th possession. They're looking close to 15 minutes without a goal, and what at the time was 10-8 through 3. This Towson team, with all the big guns they have on offense, all the success they've had in the years in Colonial play under head coach Sonia LaMonica. I'm going to have a foul called here to set up a free position. But the way Delaware has rose to the occasion today, well, these young ladies will certainly be feeling good heading into the Colonial tournament. There'll be an opportunity from the free position from Lindsay Clark. She'll score with 86 seconds left in quarter number 4. It's the first tally of the period for the Tigers. 13-9 the score. Good job on the finish, low right by Lindsay Clark, the junior from Parkton, Maryland. Was really picking things up as of late with 4 multi-goal efforts in her last 5. But for Lindsay Clark, this is her first point of the game. Lindsay's father, Jay, won a national championship with Johns Hopkins in 1987. So you know that she knows a thing or two about the success in the Baltimore area in lacrosse. That is where things will be heading on Thursday for Delaware. Pass for Gabby Garrett's no good. On the run after the draw control to go Delaware's way. Shot clock is off. With 69 seconds left to go. Oh, and one thing you don't want to see is Lizzie Yurchak a little bit hobbled heading off. Madison Horonica gets the pass back. Again, shot clock off here. Delaware can run out the clock unless Towson wants to go full ride. Torres teases leaving cage. Riley Gillen continues. Everything was on the line today. Delaware not having recent success against Towson, but they frankly controlled this one and looked their best down the stretch. If eyes are not open for the rest of the Colonial tournament field, it will be now, as the final 15 seconds will tick off. 31st victory for Delaware in this series, but just the second over the last 16 meetings, but it comes in a big way. The final seconds tick off. The Hens rule the roost, and Delaware going to the Colonial tournament on Thursday, where they will face either Towson or Stony Brook in Maryland. Final score in this one, Delaware 13, Towson 9. How about it? What a performance today by the Blue Hens. Offensively, very workmanlike. They didn't force the issue too much. And they're able to take care of business with their lead Hens. Defensively, though, that is what stood out the most. Taking this Towson team to just a single tally by the way of free position in the fourth quarter. And at one point, holding Towson scoreless in 9 consecutive possessions, extending their lead from 10-8 to 13-8. With everything on the line, Delaware not having recent success getting into the conference tournament. Towson, with all due respect to the newcomer, Stony Brook, they're a newcomer. Towson has been the standard in this conference over the years recently. And yet Delaware, when it all mattered, they rose to the occasion, and now they can take that energy into Thursday's game, which again will be either against Towson or Stony Brook. Where it stands right now is a little bit of scoreboard watching going on. Monmouth and Drexel are in a battle. Late second quarter, 10-9. If Monmouth defeats Drexel, Delaware will be in a three-way tie with the Hawks and Dragons at 4-3. But because the three teams split the 3 games, Delaware defeating Towson here would move them to the 3 seed, and they would play Towson. If Drexel gets the victory at home, Drexel would move to 5-2 along with Towson. Towson having won that tiebreaker, it'd be Towson the 2, Drexel the 3, and then Delaware would have the tough challenge of facing the Seawolves, a top 10 team, in the 4v1 matchup. But we won't know who that'll be because as we head off the air now, that game's going to be heading to halftime. So you can log on to bluehens.com for more information, and also go to the CAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament page for more information. But for now, that'll do it from Delaware Stadium in Newark, Delaware. The final score in this one, Blue Hens 13, Towson Tigers 9. Delaware has clinched a spot into the CAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament. Until next time, this is Adam Dobrovolsky signing off. Thanking you so much for tuning in.